Thanks for listening to today's episode of Medical Device Global Market Access by Pure Global, the host here. Today we're diving into the significant shifts occurring in market entry strategies for medical devices. The European Union's regulatory landscape has been profoundly altered by the Medical Device Regulation (MDR) and In Vitro Diagnostic Medical Device Regulation (IVDR). These new regulations have introduced more rigorous clinical evaluation requirements, increased documentation and technical file demands, stricter post-market surveillance, and more frequent and comprehensive notified body assessments. The result is longer approval timelines, higher costs, and a shrinking pool of notified bodies, leading to bottlenecks and delays. This complexity and lack of harmonization across EU member states are making the region less attractive as a first launch market for many manufacturers. In response to these EU challenges, a growing number of manufacturers are now prioritizing the US for initial market entry. The US medical device market, valued at over $180 billion in 2020 and projected to grow steadily, offers a single, unified regulatory framework under the FDA, generally lower regulatory approval fees compared to the EU, and predictable regulatory pathways, especially the 510(k) process for medium-risk devices. The US also boasts a robust reimbursement infrastructure. Recent efforts by the FDA, such as the eStar initiative, aim to streamline processes, making it a more attractive first market. Beyond the EU and US, emerging markets in Asia and Latin America are showing significant promise. The Asia-Pacific region, or APAC, accounts for about 30% of global MedTech spending, and its medical device market is projected to reach approximately $140 billion by 2025. This growth is fueled by rapid economic expansion, rising healthcare expenditure, large aging populations, and evolving regulatory environments, with countries like India implementing policies to accelerate market expansion. Major markets like China, Japan, and India are increasingly aligning with international standards, improving predictability. Southeast Asia, particularly Indonesia and Vietnam, is also emerging as a high-growth region. Latin America's medical device market was valued at $45.37 billion in 2024 and is expected to grow at a CAGR of nearly 6% through 2032, reaching over $71 billion. Key factors include expanding healthcare facilities, increased government investment, a growing burden of chronic diseases, and improving regulatory systems with a trend toward harmonization, for instance, through Mercosur initiatives. Some countries also offer expedited approvals if devices are already approved in the US or Canada. Brazil leads the region, while Mexico and Argentina are among the fastest-growing markets. These shifts necessitate careful strategic implications for manufacturers. Companies must now develop flexible, region-specific regulatory strategies, balancing the higher compliance burden in the EU with opportunities elsewhere. For some, especially small and medium-sized enterprises, this means reallocating resources from the EU to the US and emerging markets where entry may be faster and less costly. Strategic planning for parallel or sequential submissions in multiple regions can optimize time to market. In emerging markets, collaboration with local distributors or joint ventures can be crucial for navigating regulatory nuances and accelerating market penetration. In summary, global medical device manufacturers are adapting their market entry strategies due to regulatory hurdles in the EU by prioritizing the US and increasingly targeting high-growth emerging markets in Asia and Latin America. Success in this new landscape requires agile regulatory planning and region-specific expertise. If your company needs assistance navigating these complex global market access pathways, we encourage you to check out Pure Global. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.